Hi, and welcome to MCTV's Let's Talk. I'm Mike Stanzilis, Vice President of Membership and Government Affairs for the Morris County Chamber of Commerce. And today we have with us Ann Grossi, the clerk for Morris County. And I'll tell you right now, couldn't be a better time to have Ann on our show for 6 days out to the election. Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here to talk about the ballots.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I imagine you've got to be extremely busy right now.
Well, busy is an understatement, actually. We've been doing a lot of work. I mean, it was a lot of work to get we've have over 380,000 ballots that we sent out in a 2.5 week, 3-week period. So it's been a pretty hectic time here.
That is incredible, incredible. So 380,000 ballots sent out in such a short period of time.
Right.
And of those 380,000 people, there's a question that a lot of people have, and they want to know basically, how safe is this new process?
Well, I believe that it's very safe. We have really good people here. We're all working hard to make sure that it goes right. The ballots are being picked up every day. In fact, from the ballot boxes, we currently have, as of yesterday, about 141,000 ballots that have been returned. And that's a combination of the ballot boxes and people receiving them through the mail.
Great. How many ballot boxes do we have in Morris County?
We have 16. Dover was added on last, but yeah.
Okay. And so people that live in Morris County that received a ballot from you, they can put it in those ballot boxes or the mail. Can they drop it off at a ballot box outside the county?
No, they can't. And we have had some reports that some people from Morris County have dropped their ballots into other counties' boxes. They really shouldn't do that. The good thing is there's kind of an unwritten agreement between the counties and the election officials that if we get something that belongs to a sister county, we will forward it to them, let them know and forward it to them. So that's what's actually happening. The county should be receiving any ballots that voters put in a different county's box.
Oh, that's really great to hear. You've got that working relationship, but this touches on the sort of confusion that's out there. And there is a bit of confusion as to the voting process, particularly when it comes to election day.
Right.
A lot of people reach out to me and they're angry and they go, I want to go vote in person in the booth. I've done that my whole life. Mm-hmm. Why can't I? So if you want to address some of this confusion and clear that up, I think our viewers would really appreciate that.
I will. As a matter of fact, I just did a video which is going up to deal exactly with that problem, and I'm sending out a press release. So let me just say this. There's a confusion because when this was announced, they said that people could go to their polling location and that they could vote at the polls. People assume that that means that they can vote on a machine. They can't. There will be an ADA, which is American Disabilities Act compliant audio machine, audio meaning hearing machine. And what is that? That is there for persons who have certain disabilities. It doesn't cover every disability, but for instance, since it's an audio machine, it's there for people who have sight problems or people who have a medical condition that would prevent them from being able to fill in a ballot. This way they can go to the polling location, they put on the earphones, and it tells them who the candidates are and the questions, and then they can press a button to cast their ballot. So those are the only people who actually can vote on that machine. And they don't call it a voting machine, they call it a voting device, because it's not the same as the machines that we normally would see. It's not programmed the same way. So what can people do? I know people are very frustrated. They're very upset that they can't they can't vote in a booth, but they can go to their polling place. They can bring their ballot, the vote by mail ballot that they received completed, bring it in, and you can drop it in to a portable drop box that every polling location will have. And at the end of the night, the county will go pick that box up and bring it back to the county offices. They can also, if you don't have your ballot or you have you lost it or you whatever, you don't know where it is, you can go to the polling location, but you will vote on a provisional ballot. Now, a provisional ballot is a paper ballot. You need to bring certain identification because they ask questions. You should have your driver's license, or if you don't have your driver's license, if you don't drive if you have a non-license from ID card from the motor vehicles, or your social security, the last 4 digits of your social security.
Okay. So, Ann, tell our audience the difference between the provisional ballot, the mail-in ballot, and the absentee ballot, because there is confusion about that as well.
There's no difference between an absentee ballot and the mail-in ballot. The only reason we used to call it an absentee ballot was because you used to, years ago, actually, I think it was in 2008, we stopped doing this. You used to have to provide a reason why you needed a ballot. In other words, you were going to be in the hospital, you're going to be on a business trip. You just didn't get a mail-in ballot, or an absentee ballot, as they're called, without providing a reason for it. You had to, qualify to get it. You don't have to do that anymore. Since 2008, anyone can get a vote by mail ballot or absentee ballot. It's just semantics. It's all the same thing.
It's semantics, sure.
Yeah. So
but the provisional, let's say this, somebody mails in their ballot and they go to vote provisional. There's a lot of confusion around that, and there's speculation that may or may not happen. What safeguards do you have in place to make sure that doesn't happen?
Well, you have to give a reason why you're voting by provisional ballot. One of them says, it says on the certification that you didn't receive it, you lost it. So you're going to have to attest to something, reason why you're using the provisional ballot. Normally, provisional ballots are used in a regular election where we're not sending out ballots to everyone. It's usually used when a person goes to their polling location and for some reason their name doesn't appear in the book, or their name doesn't, or it's marked that they received a vote by mail ballot, or there's something wrong with the book that wouldn't allow them to vote on a machine. So they have the right to vote on a provisional ballot. Now, I also want to say that provisional ballots do get counted. They get counted after all of the vote by mail ballots are counted. And the reason for that is because they have to compare, they have to verify those ballots as well as they do for the mail-in ballots. But when they verify it, they also have to check to make sure that a vote by mail ballot wasn't sent in. So you don't get 2 bites of the apple. If and clearly sometimes people honestly do forget that they did this. So I'm not intimating that anyone's trying to pull a fast one. I'm just saying people make mistakes, and so that ballot has to be checked against the vote by mail ballots before they can accept it.
Great. Well, that's a great explanation and clarification of that. We're running up on deadlines now, and so let's talk about deadlines. Postmarks, putting it in the drop boxes. Right. What are the deadlines that people need to really know about so their vote counts? Okay,
they need to know that if they're mailing their ballot, they need to mail it so that it's postmarked by November 3rd, which is election day. Okay. All right, so it has to be postmarked by election day. The Board of Elections will accept all ballots postmarked by election day up till 7 days after election day. So that's going to delay the complete counting of ballots, but that's what the executive order, the governor's executive order says. It's extended their receipt but from the post office as long as it's postmarked by November 3rd. The ballot box, drop boxes are going to be locked at 8 o'clock on election day. So you can't drop your ballot into the ballot drop box after 8 o'clock on election day. So it's important that if you're going to use the drop box, that you make sure you get there on election, before 8 o'clock to drop it off. Here's one of the things that I want to let people know. A lot of people, we receive a lot of calls from people who say they've lost their envelope. They've had some kind of a mishap with their ballot. They can come into my office every day. Well, it's not that many days left, but on normal work day, it's from 8:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. On this Saturday, we're open from 8 o'clock in the morning to noon time. So people who are working or can't get here during the week can come to our office and they can get another ballot if they have done something that won't allow them to properly cast that ballot. We're also going to be open on the Monday before from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. But on election day, we're open from 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. So people can actually come here and who have an issue with their ballot, and they fill out the form because they fill out the application for a ballot because they have to fill that out because we already sent everybody a ballot, but they have to fill that out. This way we have the paper trail on giving them the ballot. So then we will issue them another ballot. They can come in here. We're set up for a few people because of COVID. We can't have a lot of people inside the room where we have the voting going on, but people may have to wait. But we're committed to seeing everyone that comes in through that door and getting them the ballot that they need.
Wow, that's some incredible work you and your staff is doing.
Thank you.
So,
but they have to wear a mask. I just want to say they do have to wear a mask when they come in, and they will have their temperature taken. So before they come
any parting words before we end the show?
Yeah, I want to encourage everybody who hasn't voted to get out there and vote. There isn't any reason for people not to vote, especially in this election, because they have the ballot. As much as they may not like it, they have the ballot. And also, one last thing, I want to say that we sent out big postcards, and on those postcards, everyone should have received it before Election Day. It tells you where the locations of all the ballot boxes are. It gives you a little explanation of why you're receiving the ballot. It also tells you it identifies the district that you're in and the location of your polling location. So people are getting confused when they're receiving that, but if you read it, you shouldn't be confused. We're not telling you have to go to the polls and vote. We're just telling you these are your options, and they're being sent in lieu of sample ballots. There's no sample ballots because obviously you're getting the real ballot in your house, so you don't need a sample ballot. You know what's on there, and make sure that when you vote, you turn it over on the back side, because the back side has the 3 questions. You want to vote on those questions. And one parting word or warning is when you put your ballot into the certificate envelope, make sure you sign the certificate envelope. You have to sign it the way you would sign in the poll book, and then you put that envelope into the return mail envelope and make sure that your return address is seen through the window. And then you can drop it off, or you can mail it in, or come to our office and get it done that way too.
Well, that's incredible. So, Ann, you've given our audience an incredible insight into the process, the safety, and just to echo Ann's words, definitely please get out there and vote. So Ann, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to be here and discussing this.
It's our pleasure to have you. And that's Ann Grossi, the tireless Ann Grossi, Morris County's clerk. We're so blessed to have you as our clerk. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to all our Chamber of Commerce members for your support. We really appreciate that. Everybody get out there and vote. Thank you.